How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? Given the chance, I'm gonna tell you now. How many ways can I give thanks for the blessings I have known? I've got a list, and I will tell you how. Grateful for each breath awake, grateful for each step I take, grateful that I'm here to play my part. Grateful for the morning sun, grateful when the day is done, grateful that I have you in my heart. Grateful for this universe, for the better and the worse. Grateful that this world keeps spinning round. Grateful for my memories, grateful for my hopes and dreams, grateful for the blessings I have found. Give praises for all the gifts I have. Given the chance, I'm gonna shout out loud. Grateful for each breath awake, grateful for each step I take, grateful that I'm here to play my part. Grateful for the morning sun, grateful when the day is done, grateful that I have you in my heart. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? I'm grateful. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? I'm grateful. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? I'm grateful.
in my eyes, in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, in my life. I have been searching for something, but you were my dream. You're perfect, you're golden, you're the light, your love. You're perfect, you're golden, you're the light, my love.
When I breathe,
When I swallow, caress I feel. When I listen,
I hear
the most beautiful music out of nowhere. You're perfect, you're golden, you're my light, my love. You're perfect, you're golden, you're my light, my love, my love. When I'm sad and dark, shallow and in doubt. When I'm trying my best to put one foot in front of the other. You're perfect, you're golden, you're the light of my life, you're the love from forever. In your reflection, I'm perfect. So I keep looking at you to keep witnessing my perfection. In you as me, always there, never leave, holding me, set me free, guiding light, your empathy, confidence to express it as me. You're perfect, you're golden, you're the light of my life, you're my love from forever. Your reflection, I'm perfect. So I keep looking at you to keep witnessing my perfection. In you as me.
you're perfect, you're golden.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Hello, and welcome to the People of Diversity Sunday service. We are a multi-faith community, and we believe there are many paths to one divinity. If you would like to learn more about our community, go to www.peopleofdiversity.org. And we also have a Facebook page with lots of information on it. So there'll be more announcements after the message, and stick around. Our topic right now is duality, and it's been a doozy. Every single talk that we've had so far has been very different. Reverend Sue gave an amazing talk last week. It was so good. And her musical guest, Victor Morgado, just picked the perfect songs. It always works out so well. So this week we have our Native American representative, Will Davis, and his musical guest is Andrew Bentham Riley. And next week we will have Rabbi Pat Hickman, who's always a treat, and her musical guest is Donna Frost, so that's going to be an awesome combination. So without further ado, we will see you on the other side.
Hey guys, Andrew Bentham Riley coming at you from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Thanks for having me back in the pod on the topic of duality. I have a couple original songs in the themes of love and loss. When I was looking up some information and thinking about my perspective on duality, the idea of this coin of relationships and emotions of love and loss resonated with me the most, and I kept coming across examples of it. And as a songwriter, I write a lot about the relationships I have in my life, whether that be romantic relationships, family, myself, the world in general. The idea of, the themes of duality and the fact that there's always the opposite. I found that a lot in some of my songs. If I have a song about a new experience or a new relationship starting, there's definitely one written usually about something ending or something coming to conclusion, and that's definitely the case in this situation. And so the first song I'm going to play is on more of the love, written from a very optimistic kind of place, looking for the future, being curious what London is like in August. And the second song I'm going to play is called Better Through the Haze, and that was written after that relationship ended, kind of bookended it, and I took it from a phrase that my previous partner had shared via text message, saying, I wish we could have stayed in the haze. And, well, talking to a few friends about that conversation, they're like, well, that's probably going to be a song, isn't it? And I said, yes, it is going to be a song. So yeah, as I said, the idea of duality, what resonated with me the most was definitely the idea of love being the one side of that coin and loss being the opposite side. Of course, I have songs like this that are about, family that I admire and the loss of family members that I admire and stuff. Now, life just keeps giving you things to write songs about. If you haven't given it a try, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, here's London in August. I hope you guys enjoy. After brunch, let's settle our expiration date. The distances between us and every ocean wave. And when the check clears, will you let me hold your door? After brunch, I wonder what it's like in London in August. Beneath all this denim beats a heart you could call home. No matter the distance or where your story goes, don't say these flames will fade as you board your plane. Denim clad, I wonder what it's like in London in August. What is it like? And will it snow on your last day? What is it like? 18 months, just pick a day. What is it like? No pet names, pick a day. What is it like in London in August? After brunch, let's settle all these grand debates. No distance between us could keep me away. And when my plane lands, I'm crashing through your door. 'Cause since mid-June I've wondered what it's like in London in August. What is it like in London in August? Thank you. That was London in August. If you happen to like any of my music or you want to hear other original songs, I have a mailing list on my website, through my website, called the Carpool Newsletter. And if you sign up at andrewbenthamriley.com, there's access to the Carpool page there, and I have a bunch of unreleased songs that you may have heard in the pod at any point. Some of them you can download for free, some of them are available for pay what you can price. If you happen to have Instagram, I'm at Andrew Bent Riley. That's at AndrewBentRiley. Andrew Bent Riley. My name's very long, so I shortened it for Instagram. But yeah, the next song I'm going to play is Better Through the Haze. And this is just the idea that in some relationships, things can be viewed as if we can ignore things, basically, and that was definitely the case, I think, in this example. And part of the thing I had to deal with in the loss of that relationship was with my music, especially, and this person, which I believe that they enjoyed it, but the haze definitely perhaps made it sound a little bit better to their ear, and that's fair, I guess. But yeah, this is Better Through the Haze. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and I hope you've enjoyed the chill vibes that your pal ABR has been known to bring you in the pod.
Take some time to work this out. I'll comb every line, each word from a few short days. Seems things just don't work out now. Now we're through the haze. From the road or in my room, I'll play every line. All this inspiration in 3 short days. And funny how they each turned out now. How they sounded better through the haze. Yes, they sounded better through the haze. It's funny what some distance brings. It's funny what some distance brings. And now you're away, so afraid to say I sounded better through the haze. Did I sound better through the haze? Did I sound better through the haze? It's funny what some distance brings. It's funny what some distance brings. And now you're away, you're so afraid to say I sounded better through the haze. Did I sound better through the haze?
Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be talking about duality, and I'm not real sure yet which direction I'm going to go off with this word, this idea of duality. I think in our universe, duality is part of the mechanism of the universe. There's the idea that for this, there's that. And I know in the native culture, duality is a really important part of that. In their social structure, even in their religio-political ideology, duality plays a really important role. I know that even in Buddhism, duality is kind of an important ideology there. That I think starting from the very basics for me, just the human being, we're born into this world as a dual entity. Our birth came about because our parents made us. And so we inherited 23 chromosomes from our mother and 23 chromosomes from our father. So there's a duality there. Every human being has a male and a female side to them, an attribute. But what happens in a lot of societies and civilization is that's almost carefully, purposely weeded out, so that we've developed very distinct and separate roles that we're to play in our progression through life. I haven't really thought about this much because I think sometimes when I speak to anybody, I just kind of turn my vocal cords over to the Creator and say, whatever you need to say, say. And that usually works for me to some degree. What I would like to kind of spend a little bit of time with is the dual nature of the human being. I think for me, being who I am, in my culture, I'm seen as this dual entity. We're called two-spirit people because they have a literal translation, a literal ideology of the fact that I'm made up of both male and female. And that spirit resides within me are those who are like me. Back in the Buffalo days, that made us special. It made us almost sacred to the people. And there was no questioning who we were or our place among the people. Now, out here in this greater world, that's not so true. That's not so acknowledged or recognized. But then we look at ourselves as the human being we are, and we know that we're a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and that we have all these different aspects to ourselves. I think in one of the previous videos, I likened that. I think it was, I don't remember which one it was, but I talked about perfection and how we determine the perfection of a diamond. And that a diamond's perfection is gauged by how well we can flow it from its original state, which is just basically a crystal rock, carbon-based crystal rock. So, in that same vein, when we look at ourselves, having a dual nature, we're both strong and we're weak. We're both intelligent and we can be somewhat not intelligent sometimes. We like this, but we don't like that. Or we like everything. It's a matter of knowing. First of all, I think when it comes to duality with the human being, I think we need to engage in more of that idea of knowing who I am, knowing what I am, and knowing what I can contribute to the greater good. To the greater good. There's a dual nature to that also. Some days I feel really powerful, and other days I feel kind of like a slug. Some days I'm really creative, some days I'm not. That there is that dual nature within me also. That there's the creative aspect of me, and then there's the aspect of me that just can't be bothered. And I think that's pretty true of all humans. I think that's pretty true of all living things. That we look at the animal world and all we see is the struggle for survival. And we don't really pay a lot of close attention to just how complex that mechanism is and the dual nature that exists there. One of my favorite videos is when the lion captures the baby gnu and then doesn't know what to do with it. So he kind of takes care of that little gnu and even protects it from the other lions. At that moment, the lion appeared to be confused about his role as a lion and the calf's role as food. And you probably ask yourself, what in the world does that have to do with duality? Well, see, even the lion has this level of dual nature. There's that part of the lion that is caring, protective, maybe even loving. We don't know how to gauge that too much with animals. And then the buffalo or the gnu calf wasn't old enough yet to have any kind of concept. It was only maybe a few hours old. And when I look at that with humans, and I got this thing about babies. I love little babies. And I was just thinking the other day that I was going to see if the hospital had a volunteer program for like cuddlers, for babies that are born from addictive parents or who have other medical problems that just need to be held. So even there, I'm talking about a dual nature. I'm a male, and I do have children and grandchildren, but there's that part of me that's kind of female in the fact that I nurtured them. When my grandson was a baby, I don't think his feet hit the ground until he was about 6 months old, because all I wanted to do was hold him. And I want to even venture into the realm of beauty and love and the dual nature there also. And I think, first of all, with love, when we talk about the dual nature of love, what do you think in your mind we would be talking about? And that's really not a rhetorical question. I want you to kind of answer it. Because when we think about love, we have all these different ways that love is manifest. You know, it can be friendship love, it can be parental love, it can be agape love, it can be romantic love. But in my mind, I've had a lot of years to explore this and think about it, I think all love is the same love. The love I have for my mother is the same love I had for my husband. It's just how we express it and how we manifest it makes it different. It's not so much in what the feeling is, it's just what we do with that feeling. And so the dual nature of that is that there's that part of me that loves unconditionally. But like everybody else that exists, is that part of me that maybe has this one little expectation over here that then becomes a condition. And we hear this like, if you loved me, you would have done the laundry. I use that because laundry is one of my least favorite things to do. And I'm doing that today. I'm doing laundry because I couldn't manipulate anybody else to do it for me. And I use the word manipulate, honestly, there. I was really trying. That's the duality of me. There's that me that is the spiritual person, the elder. Then there's that part of me that can get really rankled about things from time to time, and even borderline angry. So there's those two aspects of me, the duality of me. And I think maybe one of the things that those of you who are watching this or listening to it might want to think about is, what is the duality of me? And how can I identify that? Because I think that if we are walking this path toward spiritual awakening or enlightenment, I'm the vehicle. I need to know that the vehicle is working properly. And one of the ways to do that is to question myself. And the Buddha taught that. The Buddha taught to question everything, including him. He said, don't accept anything until you've investigated it. And I always tell people that, whether I'm teaching them or just in conversation, you don't have to believe anything I say. But just go investigate it, look it up, think about it a minute. And I think that part of it is that we don't know all the time what it is, and it being the pronoun right here, what it is, the it in our lives. You know, we often say, well, what is it? And but don't know, what is the it? What is the it identifying? And sometimes we don't know that. But when we start looking into the dual natures of ourselves, when we look at all those aspects of us that I'm this and I'm this, I'm that and I'm that, we begin to form this image, this picture. And it might be comprised of a whole bunch of different pictures and images that then we bring together into singularity. And I've been working on that for years. When I say years, I'm talking about decades, like 7 of them. And I'm still not sure I know the answer. And that keeps me humble sometimes. In the great scheme of things, when you look at the universe as a whole, it becomes almost overwhelming in that, can I even conceive of something that vast, something that big? And then can I even get to where I can break it down that the universe itself is a duality? It's comprised of positive and negative, almost everything, which therein lies the balance. The balance between negative energy and positive energy. We can look at that as electrical flow. We can look at that as male and female. We often interpret it that way. Well, the wall socket is female and the plug is male. But the duality is there. Nothing works until you plug one into the other. And so it is with us. We have to plug in. And I'm not talking about physical anything. We have to be willing to connect. Because you may very well be part of that other aspect of me, that dual nature of me. I often tell people, whoever you find the most repulsive probably has the most to teach you. Because there's something in them that stimulates something within you. And the thing in you is yours. It's being stimulated, not theirs, it's yours. So I need to ask myself, why is that being stimulated right now? What is it about me I need to know more about? Sometimes we find ourselves in situations that would seem very difficult to get out of. And I felt that way just a few months ago. But when I thought about it, okay, this part of you just wants to give up, just wants to say, okay, there's nothing to do about it. But this part of you says, no, you know there's got to be an answer somewhere. So that dual nature of me that wants to struggle with each other decided to come together and look for a solution. And I did find one. But at that moment, it just seemed impossible. I think a lot about humanity and where humanity is headed, or seems to be heading. I can't say they are, but it certainly seems to be. And I use seems to be because that leaves room for error, for me being incorrect. But the road we appear to be walking down right now seems not to be a very good road. And I've predicted for the last 5 years that, especially this country, is standing at a crossroad. And the decisions we make right now will determine how things will go. And if we don't make a good decision, then we're going to have to live with that until we get the courage, and I'm using the word courage, to make another decision, maybe in a different direction. When we look at that as a duality, that we came from here to here, and now we're here and we need to go to there. There and there, here and there, do not have to be a struggle. But the duality of them sometimes creates that struggle within us, or contributes to it. And when we stop and sit still and think about it, meditate on it, pray about it, then it becomes less arguable, and we can see that the duality sometimes is the answer. That I can't go back to there. I can only be here. I can't go up there to there just yet. So what I can do is bring those two aspects together and make some really good plans in the here and now that will maybe ensure me of more and greater success up there. See, back there doesn't exist anymore. It's rent that you've already paid. When I see people engaging in that level of what I call negative duality, that they spend way too much time in the past. And it seems to be almost pleasurable to stay there. And I've often wondered why. Somebody just asked me just 2 days ago. No, it wasn't 2 days ago. It was a month ago, on my birthday. And they said, "What's it like being 77 years old?" I'm going, "Well, I don't know. I'll let you know when I turn 78. Okay. I said, "This is a whole new journey for me. Never been this age before." Well, do you feel old? I'm going, "No. I feel the years. I feel the mileage, but I don't feel old because of the definition that's been given that." Even age has a duality. I can either be 77 years old and still full of life and still active and doing as much as I can, or I can be 77 years old and just basically give up. Just sit around doing that. Well, I'm old and I don't want to do that anymore. But there are times when I will use that as an excuse when I don't want to do something. It's like confusion. When I really don't want to do something, I can get so confused about it. So part of that duality is sometimes we engage in selective interest, selective memory. I'm good with the selective memory part. It drives my kids crazy. But then you think about it, and even the Buddha, when he was still here on earth and talking to everybody he could talk to, that was one of the things that he kind of stood on was, you're neither this nor that. You're here, now. Therein lies your power. He said, but within you is both of those things. Within you is the doubt. Within you is the knowing. That duality. And all you have to decide is which one you're going to align yourself with. Some people choose to align themselves with the negativity, and that's fine if it creates joy in their lives. I'm not real sure how that works, but for some it seems to. Or we can choose joy. We can choose the positive side and align ourselves there. But I think the burden of that, and this is a question I'm putting out there, and it is a rhetorical question. Do really positive people realize that the negative side of things is important? It is. And to always be mindful of it. To always be mindful that, I'm really happy today, but will I be tomorrow? And the very asking that question sets you up, in some degree, to not be. I've heard so many people say when something bad happens, I just knew that was going to happen. I just knew that was going to happen. I'm going, well, when you engage in self-fulfilling prophecies, what do you expect the outcome to be? And they don't realize that being a dual entity, an entity with duality, that there's the other side of that coin that says, but I can also know that it doesn't have to happen. And even if it does, I don't have to become entrapped by it. It's a matter of, I always talk about people, they need more God in their lives, and people look at me kind of wide-eyed. Say, oh, God, why do I need more God? And I said, well, think about G-O-D, good, orderly direction, or even good, orderly decisions. We need God in our lives. And it's a matter of the idea that if I make a decision, or I make a choice, and it turned out not to be a very good one, I can make another one. I can't go back and start over, but I can start from my end and go in a different direction. Or I'm going to do this now because that's not working. So I'm going to do this, and let's see how that works. And sometimes that's a whole process, because I have to keep in mind the duality of the decision-making process, that we have to take into consideration the negative outcome as well as the positive outcome. And whichever one I've decided to align myself with, what is it I need to do to bring that about? Okay. Step into the realm of healing here just a little bit. In my culture, healing is an important thing. Healers are important people. And every healer I've ever met, every medicine person I've ever met, understands the duality of their own nature. They realize that they have to draw on both the masculine and the feminine aspects of themselves in order to make something work. It's like as an artist. You know, I give birth to a piece of artwork, to a painting maybe, to a paper sculpture. That has required that I do feminine acts as well as masculine acts. And I sat down one day and just drew out a whole diagram about it. Okay, I'm doing this paper sculpture. Now the masculine part of that would be selecting the paper that I'm going to use. The feminine part would be when I put a sketch on the paper. Then the masculine part would be when I start cutting out the shapes and forms. The feminine part would be when I start to assemble them together. And I did this whole thing, and I was going to kind of show it, bring it up and show it, and I have no idea where it is now. For me, things just get up and run away sometimes, and I have no idea where they go until I really don't need them, and then they're like tripping me, vying for attention. You haven't looked at me in a while. So inevitably, if we don't recognize our own dual natures, then we're not going to be able to recognize a lot of other things out there until we come to terms with our own dual nature. That it makes things maybe sometimes just a little bit more difficult. Looking into the camera, you know, I'm having to look at my own face, you know, and it's like, how many people really like to do that? Unless you're a narcissist. Like to look at their own face. All of a sudden I felt myself go, why are you holding your mouth like that? Because I was told I had to look at the camera more. But I still find myself staring off, especially when I'm thinking. I hope that doesn't distract too many people. But as we bring this to a conclusion, just take a few minutes out of every day maybe and acknowledge the duality of your own nature. Acknowledge that there's part of me that's negative and there's part of me that's positive. And in order to work properly, I have to bring those two together in some kind of harmonic convergence, some kind of harmony in order to make everything else work. Because that's what makes you, you. That's what makes me, me. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to me. And I wish all of you the best of weeks, and that your lives are full of joy. But that when there isn't joy there, that you will just sail right through that, knowing that on the other side there will be joy again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrew Bentham Riley. It's such a nice addition to have you in our pod family, and you've really become a staple of the crew. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Grandfather Will, it's always wonderful to have you. Your outlook on things is always different and refreshing, and you are so wise. But you knew that. Big thanks to Philip Lupo and his team of technical people. They take what we send them every week and they put it together and make it look great. and it's not always easy, I'm sure. So we really appreciate you all too. If you are out there in the world and you have need for this kind of work, whether it be virtual or live, go to the address below and contact Philip, and he will set you up. You can get see past services on our Facebook group, our Facebook page, and we also have a YouTube channel that shows the services live on Sunday morning as well. If you're not a Facebook fan, you can go to the YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel has a playlist function where you can go and look at past services based on faith or past services based on topic. So that's a really cool tool that if you'd like to use that, and if you know anybody that's studying these things, to pass that information along to them. We will not be doing a deep dive this week. We typically do a deep dive immediately following the Sunday morning service. We will not be doing that this week. We just don't have people available to do it. So next week we will bring it right back, immediately following the morning service for 30 minutes, but not this week. We have a second broadcast on Facebook live at 5:45 p.m. on Sunday. You can get notifications about all these services by joining the Facebook group, joining the Facebook page, or the YouTube channel, and you'll get a little ding on Sunday that reminds you to tune in that it's happening. We've started doing live pod events. This has been a lot of fun. We've had 4 so far, and they've all been very different, but very successful and lots of fun. We did Drum Circle last Monday, and it was amazing. I think everybody really enjoyed it. We got great reviews. So tomorrow night, Monday night, September 2nd, I am leading a workshop on discovering your own love language, which love language is seen as typically thought to be for couples. Well, it's just as important to know your own love language, because that way you can help other people love you better, and who doesn't want that, right? So it's at the Unitarian Universalist Friendship Fellowship in Rockledge, Florida. We begin at 7, right at 7, and it typically lasts no longer than 9 o'clock. We typically get out a little bit earlier than that. So there's no charge for the event, but we will gladly accept donations to help pay the rent and such. So join us for that. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Our country this week is Sweden. So let's join together and send our love and energy to the Swedes and say these words: may peace prevail in Sweden. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail in me. Thank you. Next week, reminder, Rabbi Pat Hickman and Donna Frost. Tune in for that. It's going to be a doozy on duality. And if you would like to help support the People of Diversity, go to www.peopleofdiversity.org. There's a donate button in the middle of the page. We pay our speakers, we pay our musicians, we pay our tech team, and there's lots of other costs that go along with running something like this, insurance and things like that. So every donation helps, and we immensely appreciate all of it, and we are so grateful. Thank you, Spirit. Last thing, let's join together in our energetic healing circle. Bring to your mind's eye anyone, any place, any person, anything, any situation, and there's plenty to choose from, that might need some extra love this week. Bring them to your mind's eye and put them in the center of our circle. Let's join our energy together and listen to this last song. We appreciate everybody being here. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. one power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of